Gotta set the controls a little bit before I let it go. The stability of this NAZA system is phenomenal, man. I'm running a 3-cell Nanotech 4000, and usually gets about 12 minutes with the camera. Once you set it center stick, kind of stays at that altitude, no matter what you do to it. It'll move up a little bit, down a hair, but not much. The GU344 has nothing on this NAZA. Even with all the wind turbulence inside this garage, this thing is holding super steady. I'm actually trying to time to see how far I can go and check my voltage settings to make sure I'm not going too low to hurt the battery. I'm figuring I can get away with about 10.4, 10.3 to and still not hurt the battery, and that's what I have it set up for right now as the fail-safe. 10.7.5 is where it's set up to give me a warning. And the other thing I noticed about this is it will double blink when it's stressing, but unless it double blinks constantly, even when you balance it out, that only tells you that the voltage is dropping because you're using more to get it up to a certain altitude or turn, like that. But then once you level out, and it only needs to balance itself, you're back down to normal blink. I have the flame wheel, the quad, and the hex on their way, and I have built a special landing gear with a nice gimbal on it for the hex, and I want to see how that flies once I get it here. It's an incredible system, this NAZA system. DJI has really done a great job with that. I'm going to try to do the hex with the full Wukon system, GPS and everything, and we're going to see how that flies for photography. But this bad boy stays pretty steady. It only moves a hair. We got a lot of turbulence in here. We got the air conditioner on, and with the door open it kind of has some back pressure to it, but it still holds. I would go out in the yard today, but it's really windy. It'll hold its own, but I'm not going to take any chances of blowing it over and losing it again. I lost it once in the trees. No damage, but don't want to chase it down again. That's center stick with the throttle. And I did find out that having these in helicopter mode is a little bit of a pain in the butt. It works a heck of a lot better in the airplane mode on the remote. Much, much better. And what I'm also going to do is, instead of having to worry about being able to see it on the right side where the flashing LED is to warn me about the battery drop, I'm going to tap that switch into the front LEDs so that when the battery changes, the front LEDs will change. That'll make it a little bit easier to tell no matter, you know, what height, how late at night. Really impressed with this NAZA system. Can't wait to see how the flame wheel puts together. Seen a lot of YouTube videos with it, how they got a durability test of the flame wheel, which I just thought was amazing. I would never try to do that with this 500X. I think it'd come apart in a heartbeat. It is still pretty durable. I got to give it that. And you can hold it and walk with it like a little dog. And there is a limit to how low you can go and still maintain the balance. I mean, we're at 10 minutes now on the remote, and you can see by just hovering here and me messing with it, the light's starting to flash a little as it comes up, and then we come down, it comes up, but notice it's not constant. Once it's constant, she'll go into fail-safe mode and drop herself down. Go into a landing. Like that, right there. Brought herself lower, but the battery's reading more. It's actually telling me, Eric, hurry up and land me. We'll do a safe landing, and that's pretty much it. I got 11 minutes out of it, say. I always try to fly it no more than 10 minutes. As you can see, the light on it is flashing right now as in normal because the battery itself is under no stress. As soon as I stress it, and that's one thing I do like also about the NAZA system. Even with this landing gear on it, she will take off straight up without throwing itself around. Now I see people, I've seen on YouTube guys that have this actually the same landing gear, okay? And for some reason, this exact same helicopter, quadcopter with the Wukong system with the GPS and everything, they don't counter load the balance, okay? That is 95% of your takeoff issue problems, because as you saw how easily this one took off, and that's because underneath it I have relocated the battery so that it matches. Now if I go to pick this thing up from the center, it's going to be perfectly balanced. I've tried it, we've done it, and I try to keep it that way to maintain the center of gravity. Because the center of gravity, once you mount a gimbal or camera or anything on the front of it, once you do that, you change the way the thing's going to take off. And that was one of the things that really scared me when I saw the first time I did it. I didn't move the battery, I had the camera mounted in a different position, and it took off and literally flipped right over and busted 2 of these blades. And that was another thing, since I just touched the blades. The NAZA system and the Gaui system are 2 different motor direction setups. This is supposed to be number 2, but number 2 and number 4 are swapped. You got to go by what the NAZA system tells you to do. That's the most important thing that you need to worry about, because if you try to plug it in and put the motors together leave it the way the Gaui setup was, it's not gonna fly. It's actually gonna, as soon as you try to take off, it will take itself and go flip right over. And the reason I know that is that's what happened to me. I didn't pay attention to how they had it set up. So once I switched the 2 and the 4, I put it down. I haven't changed any of the gains at all. I'm at default standard. The only thing that I do is with this camera mount and with the double battery, I put 2 battery packs on here and run them in parallel, so it just gives me longer running time. What happens is that it shakes a little on takeoff due to the weight stress, but as soon as you get it up about 4 feet, it's fine. And on the remote, I have it set up to where you can adjust it here, and I do it at full gain. It's kind of like driving a school bus, but it's super steady. And that's pretty much it. I appreciate it. Happy flying, and I hope you guys enjoy the video.